Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Remixing Relationships. Happy Monday, everybody. If you are watching it live, if you are watching the playback, hello, hello, hello. And if you're listening on the audio version, Spotify, Spreaker, Iheart Radio, Apple Podcasts, and so on and so on, I appreciate you immensely. Y'all, we are in season 2 of Remixing Relationships. So if you just got it here, I hope you like it here. So do me a favor, start tagging folks, let them know that we are on. Now, for those that don't know me, I'm going to give you a little bit about me. My name is Kendall Anise. I am the remix coach. I had a couple of podcasts. My last podcast that I have is in season 13. It's called Shine with Kendall Anise. And it's the season 12. The last season, I focused on relationships, as I often do just in my normal life as a life coach. But I was like, you know what? We had an amazing run. Let's do a whole podcast. So that's where this is how this got a little life, got some legs to it. But welcome to Remixing Relationships, where we dive deep into the art of creating and sustaining healthy relationships and connections. I am your host, once again, Kendall Anise, your fave life coach, the remix coach, and together we'll explore fresh perspectives and strategies to transform your relationships. Whether you're looking to strengthen, heal, or completely remix your love connections, you are in the right place. All right, y'all, this is going to be a good topic, and I have an amazing guest with me today. She is my god sister, and she is Tishera Amore. She is the owner, the founder, the CEO of Sacred Butterflies, her organization, her nonprofit in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. We're going to get right to it, and I'm going to introduce her, bring her up momentarily, I should say. But our subject and our topic today is the one that got away, thankfully. Not the one, oh man, the one that got away. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to go find him or her because that was the person they got away. No, we happy these ones got away. And we're going to talk about that. And this is going to be a good show. So, again, tag your people. Tell them that Remixing Relationships is on, whether you're watching it live or the playback. Let's get right into it. All right. Without further ado, Miss Tishera Amore.
Hey, hey, hey. How are you?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, it's always technical difficulties. We were talking about this before the show. I had to go from one to the next. I'm like, be ready and be prepared. So I had the other computer hooked up while I had this. So we're here. Hey,
But I
Kendall.
like this better.
Do
It's
you?
brighter.
Okay. Okay. This
Yeah,
is
it's
my
brighter.
this is my laptop. And the other one was my desktop. But when you have so much stuff on one, you just be like, I can't right now.
Right. And like I was telling you, you got options. I don't want to use my desktop. I want to use my laptop. You got option. A girl needs options. this is
This is gonna be
this
funny.
gonna
This
be
is gonna be
this gonna
good.
be
This is gonna be
funny.
good.
This gonna be good, good. But how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm in a good space. I'm in a good mental space. I've been clear and free of some things for a little bit now, and I just keep learning.
Yeah.
Like you just keep learning and learning. You learn more about yourself when you're by yourself.
Oh, say that again for remixing relationships.
Yeah,
Say
you
that
learn more
again.
about yourself when you're by yourself, and you don't realize it until you're by yourself. Someone can say, "Girl, just take a breather," and you don't know what a breather is until you get it.
Shh, that part. So tell me what you have learned about yourself as you've been by yourself without a relationship.
Boundaries.
Talk about it.
I'm an empath. I'm one of
Mhm.
those women that's am an empath. I take on, if I'm in a relationship with someone and they're going through a hard time, I'm that person like, okay, we're gonna get through it. That's always been, oh, I'll work and work and work and work. And now that I've been by myself, what I've learned is that you don't have to be that way with people. You don't have to be that way with people in relationships. Each person should pull their weight.
Mhm.
They should pull their weight
Mhm.
emotionally. I'm going to talk about
Mhm.
emotional weight. We're not going to
Mhm.
get, not the financial, because we can get into that, but the emotional weight. And I
Yeah.
found myself always being that person. Like, I'll be fine. I'll do it out. And then once I got by myself, I realized how broken I really was. You
Whew.
know, and now that I've been healing for some time, I love it here. I love it here. I do. I like
It's
it here.
lighter over there, right? On the healing side, it's lighter.
It is. Healing looks different for everyone.
Mhm.
A part of my healing was when I wasn't dating anyone or when I wasn't seeing anyone. Then I started seeing someone. Then I got out of that. Whew, got out of that one.
Mhm.
And now I've been by myself and I'm like, I like me. I like me now and I like what I'm learning
Yeah.
myself. It doesn't
Yeah.
require it doesn't require, that thing that we be like, oh, if I have a man, it makes me feel being in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, always feels great. But you have to work on that healthy relationship. But when you're not in a relationship with someone else, you have to learn how to be in a relationship with yourself, and I'm good over there. I'm good.
Talk about that because that's so important, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad you're healing. You were married, you recently had gone through a divorce, and, also, here's Nakia here. She brought
Well,
up this subject, and we talked about this last season about dating younger, and you tried that. What did you learn about yourself when you dated younger for the first time, like, way younger? I mean, he was
ba-
grown, but he was younger. What you learn?
baby, it ain't for me. It's not for me. When they say age is nothing but a number, that's the truth, depending on which way you're using it, where it's at. You can meet younger people and they really have their stuff together. They're good. They're good. But when you meet
Mhm.
someone younger than you and you think that person might be that person, he may not be your person, but
Yeah.
he may be your person for right now to learn. That's what
Yeah.
it was. It was definitely a teachable moment.
Yeah.
It very, very teachable. Younger, um, mm, mm-mm.
What you learn? That you learned that it's not for you. You
I learned
learned
it
that
wasn't for
you
I
gotta
learned
be a teacher. You learned that they gotta be mature enough to handle a woman, especially a woman that has her own.
it's different. It's different. Like this particular person, he had a pretty good head on his shoulders. I'm not
Mhm.
going to kick his back and not at all. He had his own place and he has some things going on. But what I learned is the narcissistic behavior. Yeah. I'm not going to say all young people have it or whatever, but I'm going to say my experience. Um, he was fine as wine, fine as wine. And because he was so fine, I guess he thought he could have his way. And I
Mhm.
found myself reverting back to when I was like 30 years old and I was with someone and the person um would push certain pressure points and make me go off on them. And that's what I felt like he wanted. I felt like he wanted to fight. How about that? I
Mhm.
mean, I felt like he
Yeah.
wanted to fight because he would say things, and because I try my best to walk like Jesus, but I was Peter and a lot of different things. I was Pieta. Okay, And I was like,
Peter,
I was
Peter
P.
Rita.
Yeah, Peter Rita. I was like, Lord. And I found myself being pushed down in a way where I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And for the first time
Yeah.
when I said I couldn't do it, I meant it. Even though I
Yeah.
went the whole empath thing of, oh, I don't
Mhm.
know what he's going to do. And then I had to think about the thing. He's going to be all right.
Yeah.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to take in. And then I was 15 years older than him.
Mhm.
Figure that's my kid's age.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
That that was a little different.
Yeah.
One son was like, "Oh, all right." The other son was like, "Nah." The other son was like, "Listen, that's my mom. I know me and you the same age, but you have to understand that's my mom. And if I ever hear her say X, Y, and Z to me, I'm just like, I'm effing you up. Period." He
Yeah.
said, I'm just my mom, not for nothing. My mom deserves better. That's what that
Yeah.
one and he said, oh, she deserves my mom been through too much. And if you think that you're gonna put my mom through X, Y, and Z, it's not gonna be good for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that played a part. That played a part in that too. And I was just in that place, Kendall. I gotta laugh at myself, like, girl, you really allowed yourself to have this much empathy for someone that really only wanted to use you.
Mm.
That was the thing. I learned that I was being used in a certain type of a way,
Mhm.
but it was very cunning. It was very charismatic. It was very that way. And then when you start to look at that thing, you be like, what?
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me. If y'all hear my dogs barking in the background, that's because when the wind blow, they bark. It's nobody at the house. It's
But they
just
they were saying amen.
someone said amen.
The dogs were saying amen.
Oh,
No, the dogs were.
yeah, yeah.
They
So
weren't playing. They said amen.
it was interesting though. I wouldn't ever tell no one not to date
Yeah.
younger, but I would tell
Mhm.
someone if you want to go stay between 5 and 7 years. Five and
Yeah.
7 years. Rather if you're going to
Yeah.
go younger, like me, I'm 49 now, so I wouldn't want to date no one that was younger than 43, 44.
Mhm. And that's but you know what? So this episode, guys, we're talking about the one that got away, thankfully. And we're going to get into some deep things on this. But do you feel before we really get into this cuz I got some stuff, I'll do my notes. Do you think that the one that got away thankfully cuz it sounds like you happy he got away. And this is
Absolutely.com.
this to him.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.com. There were takeaways from it though. There was some pivotal moments. There was the one thing that he taught me, because you know how we
Mhm.
often say we say something and we mean what we say, but sometimes we don't.
Yes.
And I tend to I
Ooh.
tend to struggle that way. Like I say what
Mhm.
I'm not going to do and I wind up doing it. He showed
Mhm.
me. He showed me when you say something, mean it. He said, and it doesn't matter who you say it to. If you ain't going to do it, just don't do it. I learned that to do it on him. He showed me something and I used that on him.
You mean
So
something that he taught you, you used it on him?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that was to say what you meant and don't back away from it, because I was undecisive on if I wanted to end the relationship or not.
Mhm.
But then it
Mhm.
had got to a place where I was like, oh, this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work. But how do you do it? How I was struggling with
Like
how
how
to
to break up, how to end it.
end it. And then, I was driving a bus
Mhm.
and I got to the end of the line and I didn't want to tell him this in his face. I wanted to have a long text because I knew he
Mhm.
would read it. And I said, I've learned some good, I've learned some bad, but this is not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Not going to work. And I was thinking that he was going to leave like after he got the text.
Mhm.
Nah, it didn't work like that. He was, whew,
So
it was,
it was hard for him to hear that, you're the one that got away, and I'm happy you got away. You don't want to be with him. So it was hard for him to digest that you were breaking up with him. He didn't believe you. Is
it
that what you're
wasn't that.
saying?
I think that I feel that he felt that he could smooth it over.
Got it.
Because when you're
Mhm.
dealing with someone that has narcissistic behavior pattern,
Mhm. Mhm.
not that he was a straight narcissist, but he had
Mhm.
behavioral patterns.
Yeah.
They know how to be cunning. They know how to be kind. And even when I said those things, he was like, okay, it was a respectful thing. But I really was thinking he was going to leave, like it was going to be done, like maybe that next weekend or something like that. It was like a month and a half before the actual split. But it was the way the split, the way that, and I told you the story
Mhm.
about the split, how the split it. And I said, "Oh my God, I had to laugh, but I laughed with pure joy because I'm thankful, ever so thankful that he was the one that got away."
Yeah. And you know what? And we have a lot, because sometimes we think, oh, okay, that's the one. But when they get away, or when you realize in the relationship, you're happy that they got away. And sometimes you hear, oh, they got away, like I said in the beginning, and people are sad that they got away. But sometimes it's a whew, I dodged a big one there. So I want to
Oh,
talk about
baby,
that.
dodged a bullet.
A whole one, right? So I want to talk about I have some things that I want to talk about. So the one that got away, the one who got away, thankfully, it's a great way to explore dodging the potentially unhealthy or unfulfilling relationships. All right, so here are some highlights. Think about it. Signs you dodged one, red flags you ignore, but now see clearly. Discuss, and we can talk about red flags. So you talked about narcissism, right? What are some other red flags you saw and you were like, I'm gonna skip these? And this could be with him or anybody.
I'm making excuses.
Okay.
Excuse
For the
making
person.
for the just making excuses
Been
on
there.
why they not doing, why they're, why, woe it's me kind of a thing. Like
Mhm.
I've had a bad childhood. I had a bad this, I had a bad that. Or, the last person that I was with, I didn't tolerate different type of things. And when she spoke to me a certain type of way, I wasn't having it. All those things, like you're like, huh? They're red
Mhm.
flags because you should just be like, oh, okay. What I found is that it's better to really get to know somebody 90 days,
Mhm.
90 days
Yeah.
to at least 90 days, at least if you really like this person. Because
Mhm.
me, and I can only speak of my experience because I had been divorced and I had been by
Mhm.
myself for a while. I met this person, and everything about this person was spot on, spot on, spot on. You know,
Mhm.
first man that I was in a relationship with, and he actually gave me a key to his house.
Mhm.
Type of thing. So he knew exactly how to woo you in.
Like love bombing.
Absolutely.
Love
Like
bombing.
to the going to the lake, and it's pouring your heart out on this,
Mhm.
be with you, want to marry you type of thing. And if you're at a place and there's vulnerability, you're at a vulnerable place but don't realize you're vulnerable.
Right.
That's how it can easily you'll take it as if, oh, this is going to be the person for me.
Yeah,
But
I want to define love bombing for those that don't know. Love bombing is a manipulative technique that involves showering someone with excessive attention, affection, and compliments to control them. It can be intentional or unintentional and can be a sign of an unhealthy or abusive relationship. So when somebody starts to love bomb, um, they'll say, I never met anybody like you, or you just met them and they say you complete me, or you're the only one, like Tishera is talking about, and you just meet somebody, and that's a way for them to manipulate their way in so you can start trusting them and being vulnerable, and then what you say and do will be used against you. Love
Spot
bombing.
spot on. And I never even knew there was that was even a term, love bombing.
Yeah,
See,
love bombing.
I've
That's what
never,
he did.
and that's what it was. It was definitely that. So when, as the time, as time would
Like,
show
you
itself,
complete me. Like, I just met you 2 weeks ago. How I complete you?
right,
Like, what
you're
are you talking about?
well, I've always wanted someone that was just like you, but
Mhm.
doing it not in that the way that I used it. Of course, people are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you foolish to fall for that." No,
Mhm.
there's a way that it's done. There's a there's a there's a cleverness to it. It's
And
very
also never taking responsibility for previous relationships. That's part of it. Lashing out when being criticized,
mhm.
uh, and ignoring your boundaries, excessive following or your whereabouts, um, and just trying to keep you just with him so he can manipulate, or her can manipulate the situation, where you be like, I ain't seen my friends, I ain't seen my family, and not in a healthy way, where you just like, because it's a fine line, because you could just be in your love bubble, where you, oh, I'm just spending time. That's totally different. The love bubble, where you just want to connect and love and all of that, and the feelings are mutual. Then love bombing, where it's like, an abusive way that it's done, and it's subtleties, and then you find out later that that's what that was. So that's what was happening.
Oh, absolutely. It was absolutely happening. And
Yeah.
what it was for me is that when I met him, and then like maybe a month later, we had like a big a disagreement. We had a disagreement. I was like, it's too early for that. I don't
Mhm.
I don't know you like this. Then
Mhm.
I didn't even expect it to last. That was the thing for me. I didn't expect it to last. So when it went beyond what I thought it was going to be, I was like, oh, okay, well,
'Cause you were
maybe.
looking to just play, because you just got divorced. You weren't looking for anything serious.
Right. I wasn't looking for nothing serious, but I was like, okay, well, maybe the younger men is really outdoing. And then I dated outside my race for the first time.
Mhm.
So the person that I dated was Hispanic. And
Mhm.
so their love language is different. Well, from anything
Mhm.
I had knew. So it was more suave. It was
Rico
more
Suave.
it was like you
Yeah.
know,
It
for the
was
rich
intense. It was intense.
exactly. So I was like, oh wow, this is different, especially when you've always dated African American men. So you're like, well, dang, they more attentive.
And he had a ponytail.
And he had blue eyes.
Not as if not that that man but
Nothing.
you gotta paint the whole vibe, the whole picture,
Oh,
right?
baby, he was a short man, but he groomed right here, groomed very good, very dark hair in a ponytail, neat, carried himself really good, blue eyes, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous as a man. I was like,
Girl,
dang,
when I saw the picture you and him, you posted him, I was like, "Oh, okay. We doing that. We
yeah,
doing that."
I was doing that, and I just
You
was
was
like,
doing
oh,
it.
and then it turned, and when it turned, I was like, oh no. No, because
All
he
right,
never.
so that's go ahead.
Because I felt that, like I told you before, I felt that it was two things that was going to happen.
Mhm.
The police was going to come here in the ambulance. And I say that respectfully because it was getting me, when you come from a place where you're going to defend yourself, not that he's ever tried to put his hands on me, but the verbal thing that we had going on, I was like, whoa, it's take
Mhm.
it's take me there, and it was taking me there in thought. I was like,
Mhm.
I would just look at him, I was like, oh, he has no idea who I am. I'm saved, but he can catch all these hands.
So so how long was it that you were together?
It was like 5 to 6 months.
Yeah.
It
And
was
it was over before that for real.
Yeah, it was over like it was like I started seeing him like in Mayish, May, June, and it was kind of sort of really over for me in October. But
Yeah.
then but when December came, that was it was the straw that it was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. But I was happy. I was
Mhm.
happy. And I've been happy since then. I've
Yeah,
been
and I love that you what you said in the beginning, you didn't know like you pretty much fell in love with yourself again. And you
yeah,
don't know what you don't know until you sit for a moment by yourself. That's why I believe it's so important, after relationships is to take a moment and sit by yourself
yeah,
because you can discover or rediscover who you are at this stage of the game, what you love, what you don't love, what triggers you, what you need to heal from, how you can grow. And I want to talk about why letting go can be a blessing in disguise. As you talked about it, because it can lead to unexpected growth, freedom, and self-discovery. So do you find that you had a new sense of freedom and you discovered different things about yourself that you may not have known just for, thanking somebody for the one who got away? You're grateful for that.
you know, I've always known certain things about myself.
Mhm.
I knew that I was okay with being by myself. I had
Mhm.
learned that because prior to him, I was by myself. But
Mhm.
what I've learned how to do is connect even differently within.
Yeah.
Like take that hard pause and be like, I'm okay. And I
Mhm.
don't think that I can really honestly say I don't feel that I had ever really been there fully because
Mhm.
after getting a divorce and going through the heartbreak of your heart breaking in those pieces and
Mhm.
all those things, and then you're by yourself, and then you start dating someone, and when you start to date that person, although they're younger than you, you're like, okay, well, this young man he seems to really have a good head on his shoulder.
Mhm.
He has his own place, he works, he's
Mhm.
built himself. He's not where I'm at, but he's
Mhm.
working towards it. Then to see that it was all a facade to an extent.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. And
it was
and that does hurt even if you know that, it was temporary. Nobody wants to be used. Nobody wants to be, verbally talked to recklessly and then like you said, even trying to get him to leave, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And it was very interesting though, Kendall. I can say it's crazy now because me and my girlfriends, I'm like, girl, that little boy, that's how we refer to that person as the little boy. I'm like, girl, the little boy. And I told my daughter, I said, I ain't doing no more
Who's gonna
ends.
cry for the little boy like Antoine Fisher? Who's gonna cry for the little
I
boy?
said I ain't doing I said I ain't doing no more of these ends, and I didn't mean ends as far as negro. I said these Negroes, but just in at a certain age.
Men,
I
you
said if
talking
you
about
right. I said if you
somebody's son. You ain't dealing with somebody's son no
I ain't
more.
dealing with nobody's son.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, the only way that I'll deal with someone younger, and I might get a little criticized for this, but it's an inside joke. The only in that will work for me if you're younger is NBA, NFL, NHL. Um, if you're younger than me, they're the ends that work, because at least you could have a little affordability. You get what I mean? At least you can shop. At least you
And they ain't gonna be your face all the time. They gonna be out playing. They
go
gonna
outside.
be but
They're gonna
at
be
those
outside.
ends, you might not be the only one. You might not be the only end with the ends.
And even if it was, I mean, me and my kids, we be cracking up. They said, "Mom, you ain't say nothing." Like I said, "Listen, if I'm going to do a young man and it's a young Negro, NBA, NFL, NHL, and the NHL don't even have a lot of African American people on it, but they the ends that I'm going to do if it's going to be younger than me because I can. If I'm gonna have to tolerate some stuff,
But
at
no
least
more end narcissists. No more ends that
more
way.
narcissist. No more narcissistic behavior because me being in school to become a therapist, I learned behaviors. You know what I mean? I learned what like nah. It's just having your boundary. And now
Yeah.
sticking to those boundaries and being okay with that boundary. And I'm there. I'm like, I wish you peace and light. Have a good day. Have the day you deserve with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did
I'm
you did you ignore a gut feeling? Did let's talk about trusting and intuition. And how sometimes if you trust your intuition, right? You can save yourself from heartache. I could speak on that for a moment, honey, because one time that was not a good time, and you know what I'm talking about. My intuition, my discernment, my helicopter around my head, the ambulance noise was coming around, planes was flying, bombs was dropping, like people was stomping, parades was going by, and I ignored my intuition, my gut feeling, and my discernment. And I had to apologize for God for not walking in my discernment and ignoring it. But because, like you said, you make excuses for people. You make excuses for people. When you're an empath, you're empathetic about people, and you know people have been through some things and they're going through whatever it is, making excuses for people's bad behavior, or not even that. Just keep it simple. The one that got away, thankfully, right? And some of them don't get away far away or right away, right?
right.
But not listening to your intuition, do you feel that? Because I know I have been there where you didn't trust your gut on him earlier.
Absolutely. That's why I said for it had to had gone this past July, to
Mm-hmm.
me, July, said a lot. And I should have been done. I should have been done. I was like, once again, being this, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was the intuition then in July.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but it went on a little longer, so I felt that
Yeah.
I had to get spanked with a little bit more of knowledge. Like, you're still not listening, you're still trying to
Yeah.
save everyone, you're still trying to do this. And it wasn't even a thing of, it was a thing of, like you're saying, not being obedient to what God was really telling you, but
Yeah.
you wanting to manage it and do everything on your own.
Yes.
Mm. Then when somebody come to you, when you're dealing with someone that's younger, and they
Mm-hmm.
come to you with that God thing in them already, that was impressive. So,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the love bombing, people
Mm-hmm.
know the tactics on what it is that because you share these things, so they
Yeah.
come that way.
They use what you say against you.
They
They
come like
use what you
Satan.
say and who you are against you.
They come like Satan. They do. They learn the things about you. They know all the things about you, and they use it. And once
Yep.
they use it, it's like, wow. So
Mhm.
once I- once once I was able to get away from it, I was free. I was like,
Mhm.
whoo. I mean,
It was
even
new air.
it was. I wish you the best. I hope that whatever you're looking for in life, I hope you get it. We don't. And do you want to know the funniest thing?
Mm.
He's the first man that I dated. And once it was over, I deleted all contact.
This is
I
the first time you ever done that and not
ever deleted memories. I deleted everything. I blocked on my phones, not just on my personal phone, on my business number. I blocked. I was like, I'm done. It was like an awakening moment, like, oh, you don't gotta do that. Like, when it's over, it really can really be over. And that was the
hello.
first time I can honestly say that I cut the tide,
Mhm.
because I used what he shared with me on him. So now I'm grateful to had learned that, because now it's a part of who I am. Like, nope. When they say when your no is your no, your no is your no. Like,
You know as
I
you
say
know.
I'm not comfortable with that, or this conversation is out of line. End the conversation. If they want to go overboard, be like, we're just done. I'm that kind of person. I'm not I'm not hard on anyone, because I'm a hopeless romantic. I was just watching the Merry Christmas.
Hopeful romantic. We talking about hopeful. We not
Hope
hopeless no more. We hopeful.
we're hopeful. I was just watching a Christmas thing, and I was like, oh my God,
My
I
favorite. I love Christmas romance movies.
aspire to meet someone, and I just walked
Which one
past
did you watch? Which one did you watch?
watched one with Christina Milian.
Yes,
The,
I
I
watched
just was like,
that too. It was so good.
I was
And
like,
DeVal and Kofi.
yes. And
That
I'm one
yes,
of
I
those,
want to watch
I'm
it
one of
again.
those people. Like, I'm like, yes, this really do exist because I feel
Mhm.
that it really do. So even
Yes.
in situations that weren't the best, I've learned the best in them all.
Yes, I love that. I want
Learned,
to talk about so when people talk about the one that got away, and thankfully, that's our title of today's show. So this is the thing. Some people that you start a relationship with a couple weeks in, month tops, and you're upset like, dang, I wonder why that didn't work out. And later you find out why God did it and you're happy that one got away. Has that happened where you wanted to have a relationship or you wanted to have that connection and you didn't, and you really thought the opposite, like, dang, they're the ones that got away. And then you realize it was, thankfully it was a blessing? Or had you tried to entertain somebody, re-entertain somebody, and they got away and you thought they were the ones that got away in a positive way when you realize they got away for a reason? Can you think of any times
yeah.
like
Oh,
that?
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Summer 2024. That's what I'm saying.
Uh-uh.
It's summer of
Wait.
2024. I was dating someone, well, I was seeing him. I'm not going to say I
Mhm,
was dating. We were seeing each other. Engineer, very, have his stuff together. I was like,
mhm.
going out, we're dating. He's doing all the things. And then after a little bit, like you didn't hear from him no more. So I got ghosted.
Mm.
That was the first time I ever
And
experienced it.
ghosted, y'all know what ghosted is, but let me define it for some people. If you're watching and you're a certain age and you don't know, ghosted is when you don't hear from them no more. They ghost, like gone. You talking to them, you could be talking to them every day, and then one day you try to
Yeah,
call, you can't get no answer. They stop calling you, and you just don't even know why.
yeah. So that happened to me. I got ghosted, and I was like, "What?" And I was in my feelings.
Of
I was in,
course.
I was in my feelings because the 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 list that we put in our mind, the checkbox,
Mhm.
it was boom, 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 boom. Good. Felt we were communicating. Even talked about communication, and then nothing. But then he got back in contact with me like 2 months later.
How long did you talk to him before he ghosted you?
Maybe about maybe about 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks.
Okay, it's a little over a month,
A
month and a
little
half.
was a little over a month. And then I didn't hear from him. And then I just was like, okay, delete, block, do that too.
Mhm,
Not block, but just delete the number. It was no
mhm.
need for me. And then he got back in contact with me. I'm telling y'all, when I tell you got back in contact with me, we talked about the whole situation. We did go out. We did go out again after that because I was like, it was cool,
Mhm.
whatever. But then after that, we just stopped. We both stopped communicating with each other. I was
Yeah,
like, eh, you know what I mean? Like, nah, he was nice.
yeah.
But what he showed me, what I learned when I was seeing him, was that there are men of stature. There are men that really have things going on for themselves,
Mhm,
that have these good careers, but
mhm.
may have some things that they need to work out.
Yes. Yes. So it almost is like the Tyler Perry movie where Shamar Moore had the bad wig and all of that. And he said some men come to restore their faith in love. So do you feel like it restored your faith in, okay, there are men out here about their business. There are some quality men out here. Did it restore that for you?
Well, you know what, Kendall? I've always known that there's men out here that's quality. I know that,
100%.
when you're married to somebody, that's who you're with. You're not looking to be with someone else because men that are really, you have male friends that are stand-up men. They take care of
Very
you.
true.
You have it. So
Very true.
I haven't ever been that one that gave up on love. No.
No.
Well, it's more so like I know that there are people out here. You got to go out sometime to meet people because the Amazon delivery box, man, that ain't gonna be your person. You know what I mean? Like, you keep on getting stuff dropped off from UPS, FedEx, Amazon, like you ain't even there when the delivery comes. So you probably don't miss that wave if you want to think about it that way. So you have to put yourself, in different types of
Yeah.
settings. Your godmom, my mother said this to me a long time ago, and I'm gonna share it with the air, and y'all can have your own feelings about it. But my mom
Roddy
said to
Dottie
me
say.
that if you want to meet you someone of a certain standard, she said, learn how to golf.
I
She,
love to golf, actually. That's
she
good.
said, learn how to golf. She said, because I'm not telling you to go there because everyone has money. You just meet people with different standards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like Nakia says, she goes back. Yeah, I
Two
learned
can
how to
play the
go.
ghost game, right? Two can
Yeah,
play the
I
ghost.
learned how
But
to
you
go.
but you did better than me, honey. When I was out dating, when I was dating and meet people a lot, I didn't lock nobody's number in. Girl, I did not. I was like, you not worth locking. I had people and then texting. I had to look at the other text to find out who
It's me.
texted.
That was, oh my.
Girl, I did not lock nobody was more unless we in a relationship, your number's going, if it's going towards that, then I might put your contact in.
You know what
But
the
honey,
thing?
I was going back like, who is this?
Yeah,
Who
wait a
don't
minute.
like
Like,
strawberries?
guess what? That was me too in the whole dating room and everything. And I found it very interesting. You get what I mean? Because like
Mhm.
me, I love love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
I love transcending into love. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Not so
That
much
that
falling
growing into
right,
love part. Yeah.
growing into that. I love
Mhm.
that. And I know that there is someone out there. And when it's for me, it's going to be for me. But in the meantime, between time, I like getting to know who I am.
I love
Um,
it. It's
I love
important.
to know who I am. I don't want the distraction because I'm in school and I have certain things going on, and now I'm getting ready to jump into a whole another arena that I'll let you know on the flip side of this. But I'm going to jump into a couple of different things, and I don't. mm, yeah, it's going to the dating room is going to look different for me in maybe 6 months to a year. By the summertime, it'll look completely different for me.
That pool is going to be different too. And then
Right,
the
right.
more that
Because
you work on yourself, more that you work on yourself, the more that you heal, the more that you acquire your education, your career, it's going to be a different pool of men. You're going to
yeah,
be around different kinds of men of quality that are going to be there because there are a lot of quality men out there. And I
yeah,
just want to say this because this channel is about changing the narrative and you know there are a lot of the media and certain channels will have you thinking there are no good black men out there. People who have been hurt and burned by black men will besmudge their names, but there are some great black men out there. There are some quality black men out there doing the darn thing, making moves, making things happen. I got one, and I know a lot friends. I can even say exes. I can say my friends' husbands, my my family's husbands. Like there are
there
quality men
are.
out there.
There are,
Quality.
and that's the other thing, that there's some beautiful black men out here that go through the same
Yes.
thing, that us as women have endured from a woman. They even it's like they endured what we did, and it's like, how do you meet up with those people? But you
Yeah.
know that when it's meant for you to meet that person, then it's
Yes.
gonna be it has to be organic. You know what I mean? Like for
Yes.
me, it has to be organic. I don't. I want to be that person. Like I'm in the gym. I'm gonna use the gym. Perfect example. I'm in the gym. I'm in there, headphones on, hoodie on. I'm not that person to go to the gym and make sure my outfit match. No, I'm
Mhm.
throwing on
Mhm.
whatever because I'm going to work out. But
That's right.
I would like to meet a person that is into the things I'm into: physical fitness, education, politics, laughter, love, spending time with
God.
what? 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 You better know him. Because if not, I'm gonna introduce you to him.
You got to know him
You
for
know what I mean?
yourself.
Or even to meet a man that may not know as much.
But to
Those
be open.
to be open to be like, listen,
Hmm.
I want to learn. Let me tell you what I see from me. Whenever that happens, I want whoever that man is out there to say to me, let's have Bible study. Let's talk about the Bible.
That is so now you can't say, can you say SEXY when you say Bible study in
It's
the
sexy.
state? Can
It
you?
is because
Yeah,
we
but
could,
it is.
it's not
Read
serious.
the Bible to me.
Or not just that. Let's take a book that we both read and
Yep.
let's break it down to each other.
That's
Or
yep.
if it's something that I don't
Yep.
know,
That's what I
show
do.
me
We
how
do.
that I'm okay
That's
with
right.
that man that needs to lead, but I believe that him saying I'm going to lead, I'm okay with a man leading. I'm not that
I'm
person.
not.
We all have our own hiccups about a man leading, but when that comes, oh, rightfully so.
That's
Rightfully
right.
rightfully so, because we've already dealt with a lot of apples that weren't the best. That weren't the best, but you wish them the best and you keep it going. But when that Boaz, and
One
even if
monkey don't stop no show though.
no, it doesn't. So, I'm in a place of peace.
Okay, Naomi, I mean, Ruth, you looking for a Boaz? That's what you're trying to say?
Um, I ain't looking for Boaz because Boaz will find me
Boaz will find you because a man who findeth.
a good thing. A wife finds a good thing.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's even the other thing. Like, I'm open. I'm open to,
Yeah.
but the part is, Kendall, is that I don't display that I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I don't display that I'm by myself because if
Because
you're
you
paying,
don't need people think that it's a bad thing. It's a great time to get in touch with valuable lessons about what you truly want and need. So it can teach you about what you truly want and need and what you don't want. And then you can turn that regret into gratitude, talking about shifting the mindset. And people think, oh, I missed out on that one. No, you didn't. You can, instead of saying, I missed out, I'm grateful it ended. And that can bring closure and healing. And then, of course, knowing your worth. Escaping toxic and mismatched relationships can lead to a deeper understanding of your own value, right? So when you think, because some people, and I talked about this on the episode, Peace of My Love, when people love just to say they got a man or got a woman, and it's not a whole part of love, it's pieces of love that people want to just kind of dish out to you and give you. But knowing your worth can allow mismatched relationships to not happen, or to be grateful that bus, no pun intended, passed us by, and deeper understanding of our own values. So it's so important to change your perspective. Perspective is one of my favorite words. And talking about like how, time changes everything and experiences change everything. You want to talk a little bit about that? Because it can reveal, like you said, it can reveal things about you that you needed to learn, or going further, what you want to ignore and escape.
when they say time does heal, it does. If you allow yourself that time to do it, oftentimes, and I'll speak for me, I found myself getting out of one relationship and jumping into another, and not allowing myself the really time that's needed. But now,
Hmm.
I realize that I can make those choices. Like, no, I don't want a relationship. Like, I have someone in my life, and he's special. You got me. He's special, but he's been a part of my life. But we've went through stages. We went through a lot of stages, and now he's my bestie. You know what I mean? And we talk about everything. And he aspired for us to be with each other again, but I aspire for us to stay the same. I like it where we at because it's safe. It's good. And we both didn't realize how much, like, just being able to have a freedom to talk, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Sometimes
Mhm.
you can be with people and you don't have a freedom just to be yourself. So I've learned in time just to be myself. And if me being myself to someone is too much, then that's not going to work for me. And I just leave it
Hmm.
alone. That's it.
That's
If me
good.
being me,
That's
if
good.
me being me bothers you, then your issues is deeper. And unfortunately for me, I'm not dealing with an unhealed person. Oh no.
If
I
me being me bothers you, hasta la vista.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not dealing with unhealed because unfortunately, and in the studyings and stuff that I do, there's a lot of unhealed men. A lot of unhealed men because guess what?
And
In
women.
my community, it's not to be talked about, it's not to this, it's not to that. So they carry all these things with them. And when they get older, they don't even know how to be. Like I can speak about my son, I can speak about my son. He's 37. And there's things that went on in his childhood and he's had to deal with. It wasn't until I'm doing this clinical diagnosis class that I literally came up what's the
She's
matter
in
with my
school to be a therapist, y'all.
um I came up with ODD, and ODD is um let me get it right. Let me get a operational oppositional defiant disorder.
Yes.
Honey, when I was reading it, I said, "Oh my God, this is my son. This is his things that went on with him as a child, and when he got older, not wanting to listen, not this, not that." So when my son is in his when he's out of a situation, I'm going to pay for him to go get therapy. I want us to do therapy together, but
I
I
love
want
it.
him to get therapy for himself because there was some things that were missed. There was things that I didn't know. There were things that I had no idea, but because I have the information now, let's go get healed.
Mhm.
But I want you to get
But
healed
how
because
could you know?
right, I was so
You were
young.
so young. I mean, you guys don't know. I wasn't going to use this to share part of her story, but when we talk about secret butterflies at the end, or if you want to talk about it now, just so people can put it in context and perspective, she is the owner and founder of Sacred Butterflies. And I want you to explain to people what Sacred Butterflies is, and how it got started, where it got started. This is full circle, and just talk and talk
It's
about
it's
part of
full.
your story as much as you want to
Okay,
talk
so
about it.
I'm the owner and founder of Sacred Butterflies nonprofit organization here in New Jersey, located in Egg Harbor Township. Sacred Butterflies is a safe haven for survivors of sexual assault. And when I say a safe haven, meaning a place where we can congregate, a place that you don't have to feel that you're by yourself because you're not alone. I shared my story almost 4 years ago, and I talk about me being sexually assaulted at the age of 11, but then I let out the one that actually started it. And it was back when I was 5 years old and how it went. And then for 43 years, I never spoke about what happened to me because I just never spoke about it, you know. And when I began to speak about it, I began to heal that 5 year old little girl because the 11-year-old girl that had a baby at 12, I had to learn healing through raising a child, but I never was able to heal that 5 year old little girl because that 5 year old girl was the whole catalyst of what all of the things that would happen in my life from having abusive relationships, or and I'm not verbally abusive relationships. Let me correct that. Verbally abusive relationships, dealing with people that was narcissistic, all these things that came from this 5 year old little girl because she didn't know. So now in the journey of Sacred Butterflies, it's a place where survivors can talk about it. They can talk about it, and we just want to build. And how things got started with me and Kendall is because Kendall is my god sister, and she was doing podcasts, she was doing a lot of things, and then I just kind of like followed her. I did podcasting for a minute. I had True to the T, and I keep saying I'm gonna bring my show back. um and then when it came to like the logo, my logo that's in front of my office door, I Sid was like, Kendall, listen, can you make me a logo? We were doing everything so fast. And she was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She sent it, and that's the logo. Her logo is the logo on my office, at my office. So, I want to say thank you for working quick, because anybody, if you don't know Kendall, if you need something done, babe, you can call her at 2 o'clock in the morning, send her a text message. That thing done by 3:52. You 3:52. You were like, well, what are you doing? Because the child couldn't sleep at one time. I think she's sleeping better now. But at one time, baby, she was on go, 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 go. I was like, you want something done? Oh, you want business cards? You want this done? You want t-shirts done? You want this done? She was like, zoom, zoom, zoom. I was like, girl, she was like, girl, I'll be up. So for those that's out here, and she's definitely was about getting it done. And in that, I wasn't just, y'all know her as the remix coach, but this is my god sister. So our conversations go beyond this. It goes, girl, it be like, girl, let me tell you some stuff. We be like, we just gotta laugh about it. But the one thing that we both come from Islamic homes, growing up as children, and we're considered proselytes because now we're Christian. So we've dealt with the parents or the family that, yeah, we dealt with that because my mother is Christian, but my biological father is Muslim. So my biological father right now, and he's on do not disturb from me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, but it's a lot when you grow up in the Nation of Islam. Let's just say that in the Nation of Islam back then, and then your parents stay that way, and then it's a lot. So we have more than just this in common. We got a whole life history that's all in common. And what we try to do is we try to support each other on any aspect. If she needs me to jump on something, if I'm available, I'm there. Like, all right, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just watching TV. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you by just you standing on business for years with just pushing yourself and pushing yourself. Like, give yourself some flowers. You know what I mean? I send you hearts, but you do a lot. You do a lot, and I can't wait. I'm tired of seeing you on these little clips of stuff. I just need you to be the whole headliner. I'm so tired of I seeing you on all these little clips and stuff. I needed to be the remix coach, remixing relationships with, you are the front person, and it's so many of these other tables. So, Lord, we know you're going to do it because you do it from your heart, though. You do it from your heart. So, I just wanted to tell the world, for anyone that's watching, like, she really dope in real life, but she really does this in real life. No, I'm telling you, now, I don't know nobody can get up a ad quicker than you get up an ad quicker than you do a billboard. You need to be working for the billboard. What kind of time she on?
Girl, people don't know. People don't know. Eyes be
think you
working,
calmed down.
honey.
I think you might have calmed down a little bit because your life has been different.
It has been.
Your life has been different, and it's allowed you to be like, whew, I'm doing what I'm doing. But at one point, zoom, 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 zoom.
Mhm.
I mean, you
I
zoom.
still got the Zoom spirit.
I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do because you still be doing a lot. I'll be like, where is she at? What is she? All right. Like, congratulations.
Girl, but
But
you
you do a
speaking.
lot. You do a lot. And I'm ready. I'm ready. You know how there's some people you just ready to see it happen for them in a different way.
Girl, you
I'm
had
ready
me
to
crying.
see it happen for you in a different way. Like, it's happening for you, and it's been happening for you. And I know you're grateful, and I know that you're thankful, because to God be all the glory, because He gives us all of what we need. As your sister, not just in Christ, but your sister, I'm ready for you to be like, girl, we had that conversation and don't nobody know. And then I'm sitting in that audience.
Woo! To
I'm
speak into my life.
Yeah, I'm ready for that for you because you bring a lot to the table with remix and everything, and wanting to keep doing it and doing it. Sometimes in the stuff that we do, it's hard. The give up is easy.
That part.
Give up is easy. The I don't feel like doing this, but then the God in us is bigger. So it's the God in us that pushes us. And but I'm just happy and excited for you. And I'm glad that I had this opportunity just to talk about remixing relationships. And I'm not that bitter black woman. So out there in the world, I am not bitter. I am happy. I
She not
I'm
bitter, she
earning.
blessed.
Yeah, I'm blessed. You know, someone told me the ring that I wear on my finger might be a deterrent from people talking to me.
Your own diamond
My own diamond.
that you can buy yourself.
Right. They said, girl, they said the ring could be, because people don't be knowing that on this
And
hand.
that
That's
thing, I don't even know how your hand is holding up with that big old thing. How you holding your hand? Your wrist don't hurt?
no, girl, I just because I don't pay it no attention. But someone said that to me. Someone said, they said, did you ever think that your ring could be a
But that's
deterrent?
the right hand, but they're not looking at that.
People don't look at that. People don't look at. I said, well, I guess they ain't really had nothing to say because all you got to do is ask, "Are you married?" And I'll kindly say,
Right, right.
"Yeah,
But the right one is going to ask the ones, let it deter all the ones who got away. Let them go away. Call. But
yeah,
I will say this, you speaking over my life, when we went to go see Sarah Jakes Roberts, and you the one that told me, get up on that stage
yeah."
because you got
I
to get used to
said,
it.
yeah."
And
I
you
said, "Yeah,
recorded
you too."
it.
And you was looking at me like, "Girl, no." I said, "Girl, yes, it wasn't going to be me. Now I do a lot of this, but you had already been on certain stages. You've done certain things. I wasn't that person at that time. Not I could speak to people, but I never got up on the stage. And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity, girl, go. And you went. So when she spoke over us, then we've we've come far from that point to
Mm-hmm.
get to where we are now. From
Mm-hmm.
there, you've graduated. You've been through your set of stuff. I've graduated. I'm still in masters. I'm getting ready to pursue a whole nother thing that is about to happen. You know what I mean? We since then we've been on the move. We've been on the move, but I'm waiting for your move to be like, yeah.
Whew.
Once you get that move, once that call come, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna happen though.
I'm
But
praying for it. And you saying that, girl.
until
Whew.
it does, you keep on doing what you do. But when you need to take your breaks, take your breaks. Take your breaks because it's needed. It's needed. Somebody just recently asked me why I haven't been doing my lives on Facebook because I get good morning, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I've been home. I've been home. I'm resting.
Right.
I'm about to have surgery. Yeah, I got things going on. So I said, come the beginning of the year, I'll go back. I want to do
Mhm.
maybe someone gave me a suggestion. So I think I want to bring my my podcast back. But I'm
Oh,
also
yeah.
yeah,
I'll
also
produce it. What you talking about? You already
yeah,
know.
yeah, I already know. Like that
Because she
ain't
was on. People don't know. I had a online radio station.
mm-hmm.
And Tishera would tell me, this is years ago. She would say, first, I want to say people don't know that I'm shy because I didn't, when you said go to on the stage, I was like, no, 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 because people don't know that I'm shy. But she was like, no, you gonna go up there and then she was recorded like you gonna be up there with her because you gotta get used to being up there. You said that and I appreciate it. And so I had an online radio station, and before that, Tashira was like, I want to start doing what you're doing. I want to start speaking. I want to start. Now she being guests everywhere. But she was like, I want to start.
Yeah,
So as soon as I
yeah,
started, I was like, you get ready to start this podcast right here. And you did, true to the T. And it was a good podcast. Then you started really sharing your story. Because at first it was just like on my platforms, you was on everything. And
right.
that's how you on my platform, how you started Sacred Butterfly, because you was like, I think I should start a nonprofit. And I said, and you should.
Yeah,
And now, all of these years later, it is
yeah,
here. You did that 3 years ago now, because I
yeah,
remember I was turning 50. And
yeah,
you are everywhere. Like I've seen you with Ashanti. I seen you with different, as a guest on different shows. I'm so proud of you. I've
Thank you.
seen the things that are happening. I still got to get this sacred butterfly to speak to the people. We got to do that.
It's a lot of
Um,
it's a lot of goings on when it comes to having an
mhm,
organization, because when you're funding it yourself, when you're doing
mhm.
everything yourself,
Talk
when
about it.
a lot of people, what's that? They gatekeep. They
Mhm,
gatekeep on stuff. So I'm that
mhm.
person that's fine tuning it. I'm the one that's learning all the errors, because as it grows and it goes, I'm going to be able to put the whole blueprint together and say, okay, this is what you need to do. That's what you need to
Yeah.
do. This is what you want to do a whole master's class at some point about how it Rome wasn't built overnight. But
Mhm.
anything that you work, you have to work for. You have to work for, because when sacred takes off the way that it will take off, then I'll be like, whoo, okay. And it could be 5 years down the line. It could
Yeah.
be still, it's still in the, I always say it's still
It's
in
gonna
the,
be before that. It's gonna be before that because what you're doing as Sacred Butterfly, people need. And you being brave enough to share your story, you don't care about no judgment, you don't care about no criticism. You are freeing yourself, you're freeing people and what you're doing. And I'm so proud the spotlight has been on you sharing your story. Like I said, you've been everywhere. And for us to be in your graduation,
yes,
at your graduation, you
yes.
walking across that stage, you
I did
know,
cross
every
that
child
stage.
screaming,
I was like a mug, but baby, I said this because it's pivotal. It's pivotal moments. Like when I say, all right, so this is what I will share, because I can share. I'm
Mhm,
going to be jumping into politics, because I stand 10 toes down on sexual assault. I stand
mhm,
10 toes down on that.
mhm,
There's a lot of different things that need to be policies that people in our community don't know about.
mhm,
Um, I feel that in my community, I'll be able to be very informative of why we vote, where it started, um, have open forums about why, African Americans feel this way, why whites feel this way, why Hispanics. Open it up to a place where, listen, we're in Atlantic County together. And because I'm getting ready to get my hands into it, because my major is social work, I
mhm,
will be a therapist. I will
mhm.
have these things going on. I need to be able to know what I'm standing up for in
Come
my
on. Come
community.
on. I think it's amazing.
So, and my it's crazy. Like my mom is your godmom, but my godmom is one of her best friends, because Auntie Debbie is auntie to me.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
my godmom said to me, she said, and you're the one to do it. She said
And
because
you're the one to do it, period.
because you're not into. You get people, Kendall, in this. You get people that are into the limelight. I'm into, is the job done?
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
we can take a picture, smile.
And you
It's
know what?
for me.
I'm so proud of you. I remember, and I got to share this because I know you remember. So I remember you were doing videos, and and I'm looking at you now, and I'm bringing this up for a reason. You were doing videos, and you were like, "Cause I'm humble, cause I'm humble." I said, "Stop saying that you humble because I know you humble, but you don't have to say it. You just be it."
Right, right.
And that's what you being. Like you don't have to say it. You'd be like, I'm humble, I'm humble. Remember, I called you. I was like, stop on there saying that you
Yeah,
humble.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
say that because if you humble, it's gonna resonate.
yeah.
And baby, when I tell you it's been resonating and all the
It's
stuff happening, and you just humble without saying it.
yeah, yeah. And today when like I said, when
She's my little god sister, so I was,
I know
just
I
trying to.
when I was today, I had a really good informative meeting with one of the directors over the intensive weekend program, because I wanted guidance as into, do I jump into the JD program, do it being a dual major, or
Mhm,
do I go, because now I want to know law, because I find law interesting. And then the other thing is when you know the law, you don't need a lawyer. Like people,
mhm.
if you know the law, you don't need a lawyer. That's what lawyers do. They study the law. So
Yeah.
see what's already in black and white, because you really have a lot of leverage. But because of sexual assault, because of the social injustice, because the opportunities don't exist in our communities that we should have, because people do write grants and get all this funding for underprivileged neighborhoods, but they don't come into the neighborhoods and do anything. I stand against all social justice. So
Yeah.
it would behoove me not to
Come on.
into to see what it's about. Because
Yeah.
if I know, then I start at home with my kids. I start with
Mhm.
my grandkids. Then I start with my cousins. I start with everyone else around me,
Yeah.
so that they know how important it is to be heard and why we do things. People vote the way that they vote. That's fine. That's their business. But let's be informed,
I think
because
that's fantastic.
we weren't informed. I know
Mhm.
my baby boomers, they was just learned black women only could
Mhm.
vote 1965. That's only
1965.
1965. That's only 59 years ago. Black women could vote. So you figure my grandmother, your great grandmother, they didn't vote.
No.
They
And
didn't
then
vote.
they started charging them money, $2 to vote. It wasn't
$2.
even free, $2 to vote.
Right.
They would charge and knowing that a lot of them didn't have $2. That was the loophole. That was
Right.
the caveat.
So like with me being a social worker, I'm able to see everything that y'all ain't gonna have,
Come on.
because I know what y'all not gonna have. And
That's
I'm
real.
not saying it just for African American. I'm talking about Latino, whites. Y'all don't even know
Mhm.
all the things that y'all have that is available that will be
Gone.
cut. It would be gone. It would be
Mhm.
cut down. So if
Mhm.
I want to make an impact, I have to do it in my community.
I think that that's fantastic, and I'm so proud of you. When people say, "I couldn't be more proud," I never understood when people say, "I couldn't be more proud,"
Mhm,
because I could be more proud.
mhm,
So I could be more proud of you. Y'all, we talking about remixing relationships, and this is my god sister. We could be talking all day, but we're not going to bend your ear no more. We're talking about remixing mindset, y'all. Post breakups, even if you thought it was going to work and now you're glad it is, you want to heal after that near miss, right? You want to talk about, like we were talking about, focusing on yourself, self love, self growth. Invest in yourself, your passions, your goals, as Tishera is talking about. You want to pray on better relationships, but better relationships come when you are better, right? So you want to attract healthier relationships. You got to be the person that you want to attract. Tishera talked earlier about working on herself and learning about herself, just being with herself, things that she didn't know or things that she rediscovered. It's so important to move forward with confidence. Tashir has always had confidence, but I see even a better confidence. At 49, she gonna be 50. We about to turn up.
all the
And
way.
it's just
Real.
all the way. So just thinking about the growth and trusting the process. Folks don't want to trust the process, whether it's being single if you have to, or being bold enough to say this relationship is no longer serving me as she did, or saying, you know what, now I can't do that again, I will never do that again. That's about trusting the process and learning to move forward with confidence. It's so anything else you want to add when it comes to dodging that one, or someone regretting, like, dag, I wish that would have, and they don't realize that that's the one who got away, and it's supposed to be. You having any advice for somebody down right now, like they got away, I'm on Facebook looking?
So I think like you said, it's dodging a bullet. If there are good people out here, let's just
100%.
say there are 100% good men out here, good women
Hmm.
out. Unfortunately, a lot of good men and women, they're the ones that got to deal with the repercussions of other people and their insecurities, because
Hmm.
it's not about the good person, it's the person that do the thing, they're insecure. So you may
Hmm.
feel that um he got away or she got away for whatever those reasons is. You look at it in the long end as a blessing in disguise. At the
Yes.
end at the end of any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, um, work relationship, everything does come to an end for a reason. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? I also look at people in seasons. People are here for a reason, season, and a life and a
mhm.
lifetime. Some things are very much seasonal. They're here for a season. They're here for
Seasonal.
a reason to show you how to be better in the next season. Do you get what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, so I would say just trust what you feel. And most importantly, we don't have to really go to other people to get the answer because the answer lies within.
Talk about it.
The
That part.
answer lies within.
Mhm.
Don't really have to go to no one. Like we all want to talk to somebody. That's natural. But if you're saying, oh, if you ever say, oh, I can't do this, trust that, oh, I can't do this.
Mhm.
Try to figure out how you're going to get away from it.
Mhm.
Try to figure out how you're going to get away from it because you don't really need no one to tell you something that you are.
Mhm.
That's been a lesson that I've learned. I don't need to go talk to my best friend or that girlfriend or that person when I already know it ain't no good. I got
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah. If you're
Just
feeling worse than feeling good, and if you're crying sad tears and not celebratory happy tears more, that's not it. That's not the move. You shouldn't be crying sad tears, or you shouldn't have worse times over the better times. Now, relationships ebbs and flows, ups and downs, but it should be heavily weighing over the positive. And if it's not, then let that thing go.
yeah, and we also understand that it's hard. So take your
Mhm.
time.
Take
Like
your time.
you take your time to get away from it. But when you know, I'm telling you, listen, men and women, do
Mhm.
90 days. Do 90 days of pure dating. Like pure dating. Dating can be so much fun. Dating can
Mhm.
be very interesting.
Mhm.
Dating can be free. Dating,
Mhm.
can we meet up in the park and can we talk?
Mhm. Mhm.
Dating,
Can we
can we
talk?
meet up at can we meet somewhere for coffee in the Danish? Those kind of subtle things
You
are
really are 49. You said a Danish.
a Danish. Yeah, that's a Danish.
I'm
You
a
know,
Danish.
the little vocabulary changes up a little bit.
She didn't say a donuts. She
Yeah.
said a Danish. Yeah, a quiche. I thought she should have said a quiche.
Yeah, but you can meet up and do things, and
Yeah.
you can jar up each other because you're going to get to know if want that person's personality around you.
Yeah.
But I say
Yeah.
to anyone, really get to know someone because unfortunately there's a lot of broken-hearted people. And before you know it, we falling in love and we're not really falling in love. We're falling in with the possibility of loving that person because we're broken within. So we don't
That
love
part.
ourselves enough. So I
That
say, get to know yourself and when you're dating, date.
date.
Single. If you're dating, that means you have options. You can talk to this person, you can date that person. That doesn't mean that you're fooling around. It just means you're seeing what you got to pick the litter. I don't mean to say it like that. You got to get the best pick of the litter. Because I mean,
Because
men,
you're the best, so why not have the best? How about that?
you
All
know,
right.
so, yeah, so that's what I would tell anyone on that's listening to Remixing Relationships with your remix coach, Kendall Denise. Um, know what it is that you feel, and if you don't feel that it's not good, just get away from it. And
Yeah.
and women, we don't have to do another show because women, we got some stuff we got to work on.
Let's save that. That could be that what women need to work on for relationships. We can definitely do that. So definitely it will be a part 2 with Tishera or more.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, tell the people how they can get in contact with you and if they want to book you to speak and all of that good stuff, and all the Jersey people, if they need you, where can they
All
find
right.
you?
I'm located. Sacred Butterflies is located. English Creek Shopping Center. Unit D8. You can contact us at 609-992-3900. We're very resourceful. We can put you where you need to be. It's not just about sexual assault. We're also going to start opening up to just having these conversations, not just with survivors of sexual assault, but if it's a safe haven, let it be a safe haven for multiple things, because in the future, that's what a lot of things will be going on at Sacred Butterflies. If anyone wants to book me for a speaking engagement, you can contact me on Facebook. You really can. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Tishera D'Amore, T'Amore on TikTok, which is my favorite place anymore. I
We were
like it
talking
over
about
at
that.
TikTok. Or you can email me at mizzteeamour@gmail.com. Yeah, so that's
All
I'm.
right.
Or you can get in contact with the remix coach, and then she is going to call me personally on the
And be
personal
like, girl,
call.
they want to book you for their show. What's
I'm
your
like,
fee?
girl, when?
What's your fee?
Yeah, you better
Right.
that
That
part.
part. That
So,
part. All right. I loved it. I love it. I love it and love it. And when I called for her to be a guest, guess what? She's here. I appreciate your yes always. I love you so much. We got to see each other very, very, very soon. I'm coming to Jersey by next month. So
okay,
I'm
all
gonna
right.
come to Sacred Butterflies. You know, I want to bust up in there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. I love you, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Remixing Relationships, where we talked about the one who got away, thankfully. So we explored new ways to remix and strengthen relationships, especially the ones with ourselves. Remember, healthy connections are within reach, and together we can create the love and life you deserve. Learn from your past, listen to your intuition. I am Kendall Lanice, your fave life coach, a remix coach with a reminder. The power to transform is in your hands. Till next time, keep growing, keep healing, keep loving. It's never too late to remix your life, even your love life. God bless y'all. Peace. All right now.
That was fun.
We still on. You could
That was
talk. We could talk. They
that
could get
was
a little behind the scenes, huh?
I know that was fun, because it was like, when I was talking about the little boy, when I was talking about the little boy, girl, the little boy was something else. It really was. It was
Little
definitely
boy.
he was definitely an eye opening for me. And I really mean that. I'm not saying that they're not young men that don't have it going on, but
Hmm.
I was traumatized. I was traumatized. I said, oh no, I can't. You got to be 40,